Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and I am running Flash. Because, Flash runs, and I'm wearing a Flash hoodie. Yeah. Can you guys catch me? Even if you're on an iOS device? This is one of the things that we're selling on the LockerGnome shop. Thank you for your patronage. And speaking of patronage, I might note that we are now at 636 patrons as of right now. 10 minutes ago, we were at 637, and one person decided to leave and didn't really tell us why. You got to tell me why if you no longer want to be a patron, because I added tons of new values for every single patron across the board before the weekend, and that even got a few patrons to up their patronage, and I will see all of my promises through. Thank you, everybody who decided to do this, even though, do not check your calendar, I forgot to change the date on this presentation. It's not April 11th, it is currently April 14th at this very moment in time, so pretend that's a 4, and we will move on with life. I will run through the list of credits there at midway through this particular broadcast. So, now that I've mentioned this, we've also passed our beta stage for our goals, and assuming that everybody's patronage goes through at the end of this month, beginning of next, we will be soon adding a new hot topic video just for patrons once a month, a deep dive video, like an extended video, just for patrons, a TLDR podcast relaunch on iTunes and SoundCloud, and we're also going to begin adding other types of geeky video content to the channel. And when I say geeky video content, I posted an idea that I had to the patrons over the weekend as well, to kind of get their feeling for doing something different inside the Geek Lifestyles channel that I think is going to extend our geeky community and be somewhat different from the stuff that I've been able to do before. More produced types of videos around things that I think are absolutely fascinating, just a part of living and loving and being a geek. So we are streaming this video live on YouTube. Welcome to any new patrons who might have come aboard. You guys know of this special patron-only email address. That's how you would get a hold of me. Everybody else can use chris@pirillo.com. or visit chris.pirillo.com for my blog, where I'm doing a lot more AMA on a daily basis. So, let's see here. Oh, Matthew Almany says he will be a lifelong patron. Well, thank you. I would hope that we could find even more people like you, and with any luck, I will live as long as you live. Because if I die, that would suck. And let me tell you, last night, I came this close. Not really, but I did get drunk trying to push through my review of the Samsung Galaxy S5, which is right here, right? Yeah, this is it. I know it's here because they have this cheap little crappy attachment thing to protect the USB 3 port on the bottom. I recorded, an hour's worth of drunk video talking about, my thoughts on this product, and I will probably use none of it at all. I don't think anything was usable. And I think if I do another drunk review of something, I need to have someone else in the room asking me questions, and then I answer them instead of just rambling on about a particular product. Suffice it to say, I also mentioned this in my blog today, I don't really like reviews, and I'm looking for different ways of doing them. So I've got a couple of ideas. I'm going to post my brief written review of the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the patrons potentially later today, if and when I can get to it. But first, let me tell you that I did watch, even after I passed out last night. I was not able to watch the Game of Thrones episode last night. I was able to watch it today, The Lion and the Rose, and it was a good episode. I enjoyed it for one reason and one reason alone. I'm not going to throw any spoilers out there. Suffice it to say, I think a lot of people will be very happy with the episode. This is not a Game of Thrones Lego minifigure. It's not made by Lego. Those are Lego or Lego-compatible parts in there. That is not George R.R. Martin. It is not at all. This is the Dragon Sword Fighter Force, and these are special custom minifigures because Game of Thrones is likely never to have a series with Lego officially. But let's say I wanted to have not Khaleesi, or not Khal, or, any one of these characters, I could be collecting, and now have collected, the entire series of the Dragon Sword Fighter Force minifigures. Now, I already had someone else did customs of Game of Thrones minifigures. Again, they're not Game of Thrones minifigures at all, but I think you would know some of these characters, whether or not they are still living, as far as the television series on HBO is concerned, oh yes, there's way more. You know nothing, non Jon Snow, because he's non Jon Snow. What is it up with this guy's blue? I thought they were White Walkers. He's blue though, very icy blue. And one last set here. The only thing, I have an issue with this particular. Although Kingslayer here, not Jamie. He should be missing a hand, and he isn't. That's just some continuity issues that I'm having. So thank you for making these high quality collectibles that I'm very happy to have. Because I don't know if Game of Thrones is ever going to have a series of collectibles like that in any official way. And you know me, an adult fan of Lego. So there's some product views. Oh, I forgot to announce this. Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use. So just pretend I said that at the beginning of the stream, and we will move on with life. Should I have gone through the list of things that I did update for bonuses? No, you guys can look at it on your own if you want. Next up, we have, and I think this is happening tomorrow. If you wanted to buy Google Glass, you can. Google, for one day, is making it possible for you to buy Google Glass. I'm still hoping to get Google Glass. I've been promised by an entity that I'm not really going to put them out there, but they said, yes, we would love to sponsor the fact that you could get the Google Glass to do Google Glassy things. And it just hasn't happened yet. I've asked, and I'm waiting patiently, very patiently. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm not begging. The one thing I would keep in mind about Google Glass is I don't think, and I've said this before about it, I don't think the world is ready for Google Glass. There was a technology reporter in San Francisco at some point over the past few days. This was a news article. He actually had someone rip the Google Glass from his face. Glass! Ripped it from his face. I don't want that. I don't. I think it's rude, number one. No one's ripping anything off of you, right? Why should you rip it off of them? And I know the argument is, well, you're recording video with the lens. Well, no, it's not always the case. And besides that, I mean, hello, everybody seems to have a camera on them anymore. So what's the difference, honestly, between, wearing it up here and using the camera here, if that was the case? And it wasn't. He wasn't even really actively using glass, at least for video recording. And I believe there's like a light that goes on too, so you can be aware that you are being recorded with glass. But there's a chance, if you did not score an invite for yourself, that you could get glass if you have money to burn, or if you're lucky enough to have found a sponsor. Now, one thing you might want to record, and I do not know if we're going to be able to do this today in Seattle, tonight is a lunar eclipse. Everybody in the U.S. should be able to see the lunar eclipse tonight. And I have to thank Zeofox, a patron, for reminding me of this. Diana mentioned it the other day. And yesterday it was completely clear outside. Today it's a little cloudy in Seattle. Go figure. But I'm hoping we can catch a brief glimpse. Can you find out what time that is for us, baby? Thank you, my research team over there. What do I say? Okay, Google. Okay, Diana. Research to see what time the lunar eclipse is for us tonight. And the phone's not on, by the way. And I'm not commanding Diana. She can tell me what she would want, to have me do. Connie L asks, can the Patreons have the drunk video of you? Haha, lol. Sure, I guess. It's really bad. Ask Diana. It was really, I stopped myself like 3 times. I'm like, this sucks. This is horrible. And I sounded angry. I wasn't angry though. I was very yelly. Maybe I'll hand the drunk Samsung Galaxy S5 talk to the patrons, and maybe one of them can edit it into a fun little 3-minute video. Never buy first generation, says Matt Bodell. I completely, somewhat agree. At least with Google Glass. I think it's going to get better. Max3099 asks, Chris, do you like all Star Wars or just some types? Pretty much all Star Wars, really. In terms of collectibles, I like, a lot of different types of collectibles, but I've kind of honed in on one type of collectible, and that would be Darth Vader. If only because if I didn't hone in on one type of collectible, I would be overrun with stuff. And so that's why I keep it inside of the Darth Vader universe. And I guess a friend of ours, his father is selling some of his Star Wars collectibles from, 1996 on, So we've been invited to a private showing to possibly get some Darth Vader and Star Wars stuff. That what are you laughing at?
You act like that's your mustache.
That's my mustache. Actually, this is me when I have allergies. Shit. Oh, bloody nose again. I think I just gave my lip rub burn. Ow.
Back to Star Wars.
Yes, back to Star Wars. So we may be doing that tomorrow, and we'll probably be vlogging that experience if given permission. Now. What are you oohing, hun? I was segueing right into the Star Wars thing here with actually some rather sad but uplifting news. Yes?
It's going to start at 11:30 p.m.
Starts at 11:30 p.m., but
the greatest eclipse, 12:46 a.m.
Oh, 12:46 a.m. is the greatest part of the eclipse, and according to my weather app, that is when it's all cloudy in Seattle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no joke. Here, if I scroll over and see, look at Seattle, cloud, thick clouds at 1 a.m. Not just thin clouds, thick clouds. So it would be really awesome if someone out there could do this for us. If you guys have a good shot of the lunar eclipse, if you can record really high quality video stuff, maybe we can put that in the channel. That'd be kind of neat to have the lunar eclipse somewhere in the vlog or some separate video. If you don't want to put it for your own channel, if you have the ability to record it, and I don't mean some like amateur, iPhone 3GS crappy Android phone with the moon flying all over the place. I mean, that doesn't help. Diana video, effectively. I did record out of this window years ago a live stream of a lunar eclipse.
Whoa.
Right out this window. I think it's still on the YouTube channel. The old one, the other one that's now for primarily vlogs. So I was going to talk about Star Wars. This news came to me by way of Trevor McConville on Twitter, just a subscriber, and a fantastic one at that. He linked off to a post about a Star Wars themed funeral fulfilling a 4-year-old's final wish. He has passed away, but some of his loves in life were sci-fi related, both Star Wars and Doctor Who. He was a very tiny Whovian. In fact, Matt Smith recorded a video just for this boy, and it was uplifting. Just to watch it, I'm like, wow. I think the boy's name was Jack, if I remember correctly. It was nice to see that, and I kind of joked about this with my funeral, but I wouldn't mind having a Star Wars themed funeral at all. I don't want to be like burned at the pyre like Darth Vader, but I may want to be in Darth. What are you getting sad about? I'm not dying tomorrow. Although this headache that I got with the allergies, it may happen sooner rather than later.
What you want to wear?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to wear Darth Vader or something, a comfortable Darth Vader thing.
I don't even know what I want to wear.
It'd be fun. I don't know. People be like, "This is really kind of creepy, Chris. Is this what you wanted?"
Aww.
I'm crying at my own funeral, right? It's not my funeral. But it was very, very nice to see that, and I was like, it's, if you know you're going to go and you know how you want to go, I think you should define that on your own terms as much as humanly possible. So the world is worse off not having Jack with us at this point, but happy to see the community rally and give him his dying wish. Microsoft has released the Windows 8.1 developer preview. Now, this is something that you would certainly have to wait for until it's released. This is a developer preview, not quite ready for prime time. But if you want a way to get Windows Phone 8.1, the developer preview, if you want that on your Windows Phone now, you can register for a developer account. That may cost some money, but there's also a free way to get access to this account, and it's fully legal. There's nothing, under the table or anything like that. If you want the Windows Phone 8.1 developer preview on your Windows Phone. One of the things that they've added, apparently, is inadvertently, or maybe directly, and they knowingly did this, support for Apple's Passbook files. So think of a Passbook file, Apple's got their Passbook files. And think of it kind of like a JavaScript or something that runs universally. So if an entity supports it, you could effectively read that Passbook file and use it on, really any device that reads it. So it's kind of neat that Microsoft has at least supported part of what Apple's tried to do with Passbook, and maybe, who knows, Microsoft will have a better job or do a better job with Passbook than Apple has been able to do thus far because of lackluster developer support. Seems to be a thread running between the two, lackluster developer support for Passbook. Staying hydrated here. This is straight up water. Unlike the beer last night. No Bitcoin for Amazon. They're not going to support it right now. There's just not enough support for it. I don't fully understand Bitcoin, like everything. I could never set up the service. I think I have. I've got a fraction of a Bitcoin, and I wonder if it would be something supportable to make it such that a YouTuber could have like we call it like TubeCoin or something like that. And when you watched a YouTube video, that producer generated a Bitcoin. Or if you liked the video, you got a Bitcoin, they got a Bitcoin. And I don't know if that's feasible at all. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. But I'm saying it'd be kind of neat to have a virtual transaction based on actual social velocity. But Amazon, do not expect them to support Bitcoin anytime soon. From patron Matthew Purcell comes an article titled 44% of Twitter accounts have never tweeted. And I was actually discussing this yesterday. We had a Seattle area YouTuber meetup. If you live in the Seattle area or know of a YouTuber who lives in the Seattle area, I'm trying to get connected with as many of them as I possibly can. So thank you for making those introductions, folks. I do appreciate it. Because you'd be surprised at how many of us don't know each other. So I mentioned that the other day someone was begging for a Vlogger Fair ticket. And, that's cool. Hey, great. We've got awareness for Vlogger Fair happening in Seattle, August 16th. Hope to see more geeks here this year than the year before. And I looked, and she had 200,000 followers on Twitter, an insane amount. And she was only following like 50 or some small amount. I'm like, wow. Okay, who is this girl, right? And she's just tweeting a whole bunch of crap. And I'm like, okay. So then I flip over to who's following her, and it's a whole bunch of eggs. I'm like, yikes. Okay, no. This is not good. She likely just signed up for a service that would just get her a whole bunch of free followers, making her look important. I looked at her Instagram account, and she had like 32 followers. I'm like, wow. Yeah, no. So it doesn't surprise me that 44% of Twitter accounts have never tweeted. However, my question in turn would be, how many Google Plus accounts are there, owned by people who didn't realize that they had the account? And I'm guessing a greater percentage. Honestly, I'm going to call that ball right now and suggest that most people who have Google Plus accounts don't know that they have Google Plus accounts. Or if they do know they have Google Plus accounts, they don't use them for what they are, Google Plus accounts. So I'm not shocked at all, really. And I'm happy to say that I'm sure there are a few followers that I have who are fake, but that's not through any fault of my own. I'm very happy to know and to note that many of you are real people and real followers. Thank you for that. Let me go ahead and run through the list of patrons as Wicket eats something underneath my desk. What are you doing, dude? Dude? Can you not, honey, can you call him over? I don't know what he's eating. Oh, the joys of running a live stream in your home office. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you know this, but if you're a business, if you have the business part of patronage, you can get your website displayed in every TLDR. And I think you get a bonus tweet, too. We'll even tweet the link from the LockerGnome account. So we're working on fulfilling all of those for patrons, at least at the different levels. I can't offer everything to everybody. I just can't. So I'm doing my best to work with my very small team to expand that team to be able to do what I do so that you can enjoy. You can continue to enjoy the things that we are doing for you. Speaking of enjoying, this week is Goat Week on LockerGnome.com. I decided this after watching the Taylor Swift goat video that my friend Slav showed me the other day when we were visiting. His wife Jasmine made some homemade pho for us. So we're posting goat things at least once a day on LockerGnome.com. Today it's the Let It Goat You know, the let it go, let it go. Well, it's been interspersed with, you know, that song and the screaming goat. There's a goat, ah! Like that. The goat sounds like that. And I made a request that will be going in tomorrow's vlog, I believe, because I'm now a day behind after getting drunk and crashing last night, trying to do a review or get through the review of the Samsung Galaxy S5. If anybody can get original video footage of a screaming goat, I would love to use that, because I've got some ideas of what I could do with a screaming goat in video footage. Some ideas. That'd be fun. So, Goat Week on LockerGnome.com. Next week, it may very well be some other kind of week, like Creeper Week on LockerGnome. Posting creeper things on LockerGnome. I think it'd be fun to have themes. Every week we'll have a different theme on LockerGnome.com. Geeky fun themes. This week, goat. Why not? Hey, dude, that was hilarious. I was laughing so hard, I was crying over not the Let It Goat. The Let It Goat one made me laugh, but the goat mashup with Taylor Swift, best Taylor Swift video ever. Ever. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the goat and her dated at one point. It would surprise me more if they didn't. She's gone through... Sorry, I don't want to get into gossip or anything, but some people really get around. She's one of them. And she acts all innocent. Oh, I'm Taylor Swift. Oh. And Miley Cyrus gets the bad rap, and she's dated, 2 people in her life?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next. Jason Resnick notes, I actually like G Plus for the communities. Yeah, I don't mind the communities on Google Plus. I like Google Plus for looking at new geeky things like Star Wars and other geeky things like that. Not so much technology things. Google Plus is a great place to get bullied about your technology choices if you don't have a Google product in them. Really, that's honestly what it is. That's my experience there. So I tend to stay away from the tech geeks on Google Plus because some of them are really good people, but some of them are. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kick in the screensaver here. Ticks. Let's see here. Blast out your stereo. That is a great username. That's the username of the day. Love it. Blast out your stereo. Asks here in the live stream, who else chuckled at US Airways Twitter mishap? Was that a Twitter mishap? I caught wind that a teenage girl in the Netherlands, tweeted a threat to, I don't know if it was US Airways or another airline, saying that she was going to take them down. And it got reported, and the girl was arrested. Whoa. Don't threaten people, okay? Just don't do it. If you don't have anything nice to say, shut up and get offline.
Jump out the exit door.
Really? You can't effectively jump out the exit door, though, at 30,000 feet. The air pressure, it doesn't work that way. You can't do it.
But he tried.
He tried, yeah, but you just can't do it. It's impossible. Now, unless, of course, you had some kind of instrument to poke a hole through the window to release the pressure, then you'd be able, that'd be bad news, though. Don't do that. So, okay, don't make threats, right? And I realize we all say things that aren't that great. I tend not to point people out or single people out. I try not to make personal attacks. I'm sure it's happened at some point in my history online, making personal attacks. I tend not to slap unless someone slaps me first, in which case they're fair game. If they poke me with a stick, it's my right to poke you back. I don't understand why some people get mad at me, like, you shouldn't poke people back. Well, they shouldn't be poking me then. Bottom line is, don't make threats. It could get you arrested. Glow-in-the-dark roads, speaking of the Netherlands, and I didn't realize this was going to be a segue until right now. Glow-in-the-dark roads are now a reality in the Netherlands. They have glow-in-the-dark roads. That is so awesome. I want glow-in-the-dark roads here. And I don't mean like the reflective tape, you're driving along. I mean, they actually glow in the freaking dark. Like, we're Tron people. We are Tron people. We don't need no darking roads. That was horrible. I was trying to go somewhere really interesting with that, but completely fell flat. Early internal document reveals Android was initially designed without touchscreen support. So you're saying that Google copied Apple? Ooh, I'm not saying it. Oh, far be it from me. I'm just saying that documents showed that Android was more like what BlackBerry was doing. Until they realized, oh, we're copying the wrong thing. Let's copy somebody else. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm not to blame here. If you're going to hate them. Hate somebody else. I'm not bringing the hate. I'm not passing judgment at all. It is what it is. It is what it is. You'll know when I'm passing judgment. I'm pretty clear about where and when I pass judgment. Vector Illustrator is free today for iOS users. It's normally $5. I don't know why you'd want to make vector graphics on your iPhone or your iPad, but you could use that. So, Samsung notes that the Galaxy S5 launch, now granted, this is Samsung, they say that the Galaxy S5 launch weekend sales were better than the sales for the S4 over the same initial weekend. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of people didn't want to move from the S3 to the S4. They didn't see much of a reason to upgrade. I would say there are relatively dramatic differences between the S4 and the S5. I mean, look at one's true, look, full-on plastic, whereas you kind of got this dimpled, faux, leathery back on the S5. Also, the stupid flap that just cheapens the entire device. You got the heartbeat monitor on the back, which may impress some of you. You got the fingerprint swiper, which honestly, in using the fingerprint swiper, some people complain that it didn't work a lot for them, but I didn't have as many problems as other people did with the fingerprint scanner. But the thing to keep in mind is that take that, Apple. Well, with Apple, I can use one hand to open the device, right? You can't do that effectively with the Galaxy S5, or you could, but it's kind of in an awkward type of state. Holding the device like that in order to do it, more often than not, you're going to be using one hand. In fact, they recommend in the screenshot that you hold onto it with one hand and brush it with a registered finger with another. They did a decent job. Not bad. We'll see where it takes them. I didn't mind that particular feature on this device, but I don't want to give my full-on review because I do want to save that for something written so I can kind of speak to every particular part of my experience with the device so far. Next. Was it just me, or when Chris poked the screen, there was a bubble popping noise? What, did you hear something? I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it was my chips.
Right. Well, just saying. And by the way, George Baker does note that Android was bought by Google. Why do you think that happened? Google needed something. Something that would allow them to chase who, what, when, how fast. It's a peppered history there with Android and Google and the entire universe of smartphone devices. But that is true. Android was acquired. I don't understand why some people slag companies for acquiring other companies with technology. That's what big companies do. I mean, they could try to build it themselves, but sometimes it's easier to buy another company that's doing it better than others. So, hang on. Check. I'm seeing the. Hang on. I'm telling you to hang on. I'm telling these live viewers to hang on. I'm just making sure that. And just my last name. What? Sometimes when I'm reading comments, it's difficult for me to read comments in the live show. This is one of the things that I want to do. If and when I can find either an apprentice, I hate the word intern. I should stop using that. An apprentice to be here with me, or as I expand the production team to find someone local to help me, they would be able to read comments and possibly even integrate them within the live video. Because right now I'm doing everything. I'm wearing many hats. So the only other thing I think I wanted to mention today, because I showed about everything I wanted to show, except for this, which I may show off tomorrow, the wireless speaker for iPhone. You don't have to pair this, apparently. It just works. Room-filling sound, phone calls hands-free, up to 6x audio boost, and the value is that you just basically place the device on the speaker and you don't need to pair it. Bizarre. So we'll try that tomorrow. See how well it works. I'm now going to leave you to your own devices so that I can prepare for my next live video stream in a half hour. Now for patrons, they get a bonus every day, something along the lines of what would you do? And I do 5 of these every week. Only one of them is publicly visible. The other 4 are just for patrons, but it's powered by patrons. And today's What Would You Do is asked by Brian Roberts. He asks, what would you do if you had to start all over again today. That's the video I'm going to be live streaming in another half hour. You'll be able to watch it, as I said, because this is the one video of the What Would You Do series that will be made public. I'll be posting a screenshot later showing you the topics we covered last week and what you're missing out on, like about 40 minutes worth of content just for patrons, and that list will grow pretty much by the week. This week, in fact, it will double because we're going from 4 to 8. I won't be able to double every week. I can't keep up with that production schedule. That would be insane. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe, watch even more of our videos right now, and you know, cut me some slack when I you know, do something that you don't find to be to your liking. You know, because I do that often. I ask Diana. That's like every 5 minutes around here, and we got married. So if we could, you know, not get along for certain parts of the day and still get along enough to make a kid, you know, there's what?
That's a little too far.
Apparently that was TMI, according to Diana. See, I told you. Huh? Was I not just saying that every other minute around here or something like that? I wasn't trying to prove myself right there, by the way. So thank you, everybody, for doing what you do so that we can continue to do what we do for you. We'll see you later.